He's like, yeah, I can just do the loading screen on you.
Well, that's fine. No worries.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's do this. Go on, Des. You take the intro. Come on.
Oh God, I don't like intros.
Dorks down under.
Oh
What's
God.
there? Yeah.
So, the for everybody watching, the tampon string is out. I got a black one now, but we're ready to go. So that works. So guys, thank you everybody for joining us. We are on episode 4 of Dorks Down Under. Happy Father's Day to Jordan, hence why he's being merry and having a few beers. My name is Dez. As I said, my co-host is Jordan, who has had a few extra Father's Day, what should we say, cheery drinks, we'll say.
Cheery drinks, and I'm full of barbecue food. Absolutely full. I swear to God, I ordered seconds. That's how you know a place is good, if I'm ordering seconds of me. Whereas the wife and the boy decide to share a dessert. No, I had a second.
How do you shit? Oh man, when it comes to barbecue, like every time I've had barbecue, like when I was in the States as well, you'd order like a barbecue thing and you're like, oh, I'll get the medium platter, and the medium platter will come out, and it is the size of Texas. So the fact that you've ordered seconds kind of worries me a touch.
In my defense, right, we saw they had this sharing platter and we saw it, and it looked a lot better on the picture because we ordered it for share for two for me and Ellie, and then he had a pulled chicken slider with some fries, and he was happy. But of course, it turned out, honestly, I could have devoured this plate for myself because it was that good. But it gave you a sample of everything.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like normally brisket, smoked brisket is I love smoked brisket, but theirs is slightly drier than I like.
Oh really?
Their pork belly was absolutely immense, whereas Amy found it a bit too wet for her liking. So, so it's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll trade you the rest of this brisket for the rest of that pork belly. Yeah, swap over. And then there was meat candy as well, which was great. There was sausages, chicken wings. Oh, their buffalo wing sauce, man! I need I need to get the recipe.
Oh man,
it was immense. I'm a hot sauce man.
Yeah.
But I can, don't mind, I occasionally do the hot ones challenge with myself, with all the collection of hot sauces that I have.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of hot sauce, this is something that I have on my desk that I got given, and I'm too afraid to open, but I really want to try it, which is, if we can see that there.
What's that?
Oh, come
Blackwood.
on. So this is actually a Elder Scrolls hot sauce that they have.
What's Scoville rating is it?
Sorry?
What Scoville rating is it?
That's what I've got to check on the back. Bethesda actually made it through the Melbourne hot sauce thingo. But okay, so here it is. Ingredients: super hot chili, cider vinegar, mango, ginger, orange, lime, sugar, allspice, salt, and thyme. But the super hot sauce is 35% jalapenos, 19% ghost chilies, 13% California Reapers, and 6% Trinidad Scorpion.
Oh, this is a baby sauce. It's only 600,000 Scoville.
Is it? How do you know? It didn't say here.
God, I've typed it in Google and it's come up.
It's got ghost chilies. It's got California Reapers and Trinidad Scorpion.
The hot sauce, the sauce called the hot sauce of Oblivion weighs around 600,000 Scoville units.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. For the average hot sauce person, that's going to be hot. But I've got the bomb and the last dab in my collection, and I go all the way when I decide to have a hot ones night.
Yeah.
I make the chicken wings and I sauce them incorrectly and go up in scale, and it gets bad. But the last dab's like 1,000,005 or so, or 2 million. No, 2 million.
Jesus Christ.
The bomb is 1,000,003 or something like that. It's.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. That sounds sucky.
It is. No, it is. It's great fun. It's great, especially when you got people over and they would go, "I'll try a bit."
Yeah. It couldn't be that hot, could it? It's like,
I'll be that bad, Jordan. You're sitting there gasping. It's like, yeah. He's like, I'm gasping.
Oh man, I thought that one was going to be actually hot because it had the scorpion and also the
No, no,
and
no, no, no. It is for a bog standard user. So if you're just, I enjoy having buffalo wings. You know, if you're that level, it's hot. That will be hot for you.
yeah.
But I mean, my wife has accused me of having hot sauce instead of blood on occasion.
That's always good. You know what I did when I was in America, and this is the weirdest thing, and I still, like, I don't know, I'm still kind of a little bit ashamed of myself in doing this, but I'm also kind of like, I kind of want to do it again. So one of the chefs there, we got a little bit, we had a few Father's Day beverages, shall we say?
Yeah.
And then he's like,
I think Des, I think we're allowed to call it a drink.
are we allowed? I don't know, because it's weird, because when you mention alcohol on YouTube, sometimes it goes a bit thin, but to be fair, we haven't monetized, so...
We're having a drink.
Yeah.
We're having a drink. I'm British. It's part of my immediate vocabulary.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That's probably what they do. They probably like check the accent and go, oh no, that's he's British, he's fine.
He's British. I mean, anyways, you're Aussie. That's it.
I know, but it's just but like so what we did is
We
ended
Simpsons
up
depiction. Everybody's seen it. Everyone knows what you are like.
so we ended up having probably about a case of beer between the two of us, and then he went into the kitchen and came out with ice cream, and I was like, fucking sweet. Thinking that there's some kind of strawberry or raspberry sorbet on it, it's hot sauce.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird, and every time I tell somebody, I'm like, I feel kind of bad saying this.
No.
But
I've tasted it myself.
It is something
and I
special.
agree. It is odd. And it is odd. It is strange. I'll tell you what, though. Speaking of... it is strange to have it. The first time I tried it, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this. I mean, I like it, but it was like, you know, when you say it's a bit of a taste contradiction in your mouth.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And it's like it's spicy, but it's soothing. It's sweet, but it's also savoury.
To be fair, at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of chili chocolate. I know there are some people who don't do chili or hot sauce things at all.
Yeah.
But give them a piece of chili chocolate or something that's got chili chocolate in, and like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. It's like,
Yeah, well, I mean, Cherish, my housemate, she's not a big fan of chili. Like we'll go to the Indian restaurant and I'll order vindaloo, and she just goes like, "Can you not?" Because she can't deal with it, and I absolutely love it. But like for some reason,
you can tell you've lived in England.
Oh yeah, well, I used to enjoy it beforehand, and then obviously lived in the UK, and it's just like they're like, "Oh, can I get a vindaloo? How hot do you want it?" I'm like, "Just make it normal. Like don't make it mild."
Did you ever get a chance to go like up Newcastle way and ever try a Tintaloo?
No.
Oh, right. Okay, that's...
I worked in Leeds, but I didn't get up there.
No. I don't think you can ever get it outside of Newcastle. Basically, it tends to be a stag do challenge more than anything.
Yeah.
And basically, it's like, oh, you order this, and if you can finish it, your meal's free, including the beer. So as you can imagine what happens on the stag.
Get way too many beers.
We'll have 10 Tintaloos. Yeah, I'll tell you now. It's the one time I ever took 3 bites of a curry and gone, I'm good.
Yeah, wow.
Literally, it hits your stomach. I mean, it's hot in the mouth, and it's like, oh, but then it gets to your stomach.
Yeah, that's where it becomes dangerous. Like, yeah, because we were in where were we? I think I was in. It might have been Arizona, I think. And they had this like 6-wing challenge where you had to eat 6 wings, and they're really hot. And you're like, yeah, cool. And it's always good when they hand you a piece of paper and go, before you get this, can you sign this?
Can you sign this waiver saying we're not held liable for the potential consequences to your own health?
And so I was like, okay, cool. So I knew we were doing this. So the first thing I did was I went to like the local service station before we got there and got like a coffee milk. And I drank that just to coat my stomach. Works a treat sometimes. And I won't lie, when it hit my stomach, like I watched a dude do this. Put it down, go to get the next one, and you could just see him swallow, and it was like you could almost see it slow motion. And then it hit the belly and it just went, and and he just like he couldn't. Like I've never seen anybody, and chicken came back out. So did whatever he had for breakfast. But I'm like, okay. And I got through all 6, and like I felt like, I won't lie, like it was not
good. Say, afterwards, a couple of hours after, how pretty were you feeling?
Not pretty at all. Well, the worst thing was too though is I had kind of like this rash here that was all
Yeah,
red,
from the hot sauce, from the spice,
and that's from the
just
spice.
spreading from your lips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what you had to do is you had to eat it all. You couldn't have any milk and you couldn't have any drinks. And then what you had to do was you had to sit there and have it for a minute and just have it. So you couldn't drink any. And then after a minute, you could have I think it was like an icy pole and some milk. And yeah, like I got like what looked like this kind of like weird rash around here. Like
It sounds like you. It sounds like your body was having an allergic reaction to the capsaicin.
well, no. Supposedly everybody gets it. They reckon
Okay.
because of how
It's
hot the
hot.
actual sauce is. If you get any on your lips and stuff, it will go red and go puffy because it will start to burn. And
I do know there's a spot out in, is it New Orleans, and their hot sauce has been continually been made since like it's like 1940s, because it's so spicy. It can't go off. It can't go moldy, or it doesn't go bad because no bacteria has been growing it. So literally, it's like they sauce the wings. You know, they make it sort of fresh, but then they use the same bowl sort of thing,
oh my
or something
god.
like that, and it's like this sauce can't go off. And all I think of is like, oh, how disgusting, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I bet that's a good flavour though.
Yeah, it would be like that's a thing. Like, oh man, like
The development of flavour. Because honestly, the amount of times I make a curry, and it's nice the day off, don't get me wrong, but the
yeah.
next day, just or if I
Oh
make a hot chili, the next day is like, nah, when it's had 24 hours to
yeah.
soak it in a little bit.
Oh, 1,000. I always say that. I've always said to my friends, I'm like, if you're gonna make a curry the day before, and then eat it the next day. Because when you heat it up, the flavors have had a lot more time to permeate. It's like 1,000 times better. And I had a friend that didn't believe me, and I'm like, make the curry tonight and eat it tomorrow. And they're like, yeah, but how do I warm it up? I'm like, just put it back on the stove and just cook it as if it was a thingo. And yeah, so he goes, oh my God, it was great. He goes, my wife got a bit thing. So what he did is he literally cooked it in the pot, took the pot off the stove, waited till he could touch it slightly, and then just put the whole pot into the fridge. So yeah, his wife kind of cracked it, and I was like, bro, don't put metal in the fridge. So
No, right, don't get me. I understand putting the pot into the fridge. I understand, wait until it's cold.
yeah,
not just, oh, it's terrible now. Don't eat on the glass, God forbid. I mean, yeah, especially cold glass.
but yeah,
But
oh
yeah,
man, it was pretty funny, and yeah, and he raves about it, and I must say, there is something about spice, and that's the hardest thing, because my housemate, who I cook for quite regularly, I don't put spice in our food, mainly because she doesn't eat it. There's one tuna dish that I make. I make like this spicy tuna pasta that she actually loves. But like if I was cooking it for you and myself, I'd probably put in twice, probably 3 times the amount of chili that she has.
you can cook it for me all you want. I won't touch it. I don't do it.
You don't do tuna?
I don't do it.
Oh man.
My wife is insisting that she will get me onto tuna, because obviously I need as a couple of health things, I need to eat more fish, and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, we need to get you onto tuna, Jordan. Tuna is the best thing. It's like, oh, I tuna.
Fresh tuna is amazing. Canned tuna is easy to eat because it's not really anything special. You're in London, man. You're used to having like tuna and sweet corn, like baked potatoes and sandwiches, and they're in every single pub. And I don't understand why you need the corn. I don't understand it.
What's
But
wrong with
no,
corn? Corn's the best thing.
if you get a fresh tuna steak and you literally cook it rare, it is absolutely freaking gorgeous. And I'll tell you now, it's meaty. It's got this really nice density to it where it doesn't taste like fish. But do you eat any fish?
Oh yeah, no, I eat fish. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy fish. The problem is I have the worst luck with fish.
Oh,
Even if the fishmonger himself could guarantee 100% there are no bones in a piece of fish,
yeah.
I will find it, and it's always on my portion. I am that guy. Even if you feel along, you've gotten rid of all of them, and you know there's no bones, there's still a bone, and I'm the guy who finds it. That's how unlucky I am.
I mean that's pretty common. Like, because
Yeah.
like for example, as some people may know, I used to be a chef, so like taking out bones and stuff for fish is great. But the problem is too, though, is with a lot of ones as well, you can take the bone out and the bone does come out, but what will happen is it'll snap halfway down, or there are little micro bones that sometimes form and different things. Like I know when I first moved into my housemate, this is like 10 years ago now. She wanted salmon, and we got a whole side of salmon because I had mates that obviously worked at the fishmongers and stuff, and we got a whole side of salmon. And literally, I got a whole side of salmon. I bought a pair of tweezers and I deboned the whole thing. And it's easy enough. And yeah, like I had tweezers that were literally just used for fish.
I mean, I don't get me wrong,
you still miss one.
I don't mind having a piece of salmon now and again. My favorite one is shark. I love having shark.
Like gummy sharks kind of thing.
What do they call it? It's
flake.
Here it's lemon sole.
Oh, is it?
But it's called shark. It's shark.
Oh, yeah, because we've got something here they call flake, and you get it from all the fish and chip shops and stuff. And literally, all it is gummy shark, which is a shark with no teeth. I've caught one.
All shark tastes. It does taste like meat, red meat.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. The first time I ever tried it was when we were on honeymoon in Thailand. And it was like, we got a seafood platter, I think it was, at one of the spots we were on honeymoon. And I was like, what's this one? And he said, it was blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. I said, what's that? He said, it's shark. And I was like, oh, well, it's on the plate. Must be able to eat it. So I ate it, and I was like, oh my God, this is... And I was like, oh my God, this is a fish.
I'm surprised. I reckon you would like... I genuinely reckon you would like fresh tuna, not canned tuna. Canned tuna... I mean, each to their own. Like I don't mind canned tuna. I'll eat canned tuna.
Speak to my wife. I'm not having both of you trying to bully me
when we're in Tasmania. If Numbers' wedding goes ahead, because the poor guy's just lost his venue, but if it goes ahead, I will cook you. I will cook you tuna, and I guarantee. If not, who cares? Ellie and I will eat it.
Oh yeah,
but at least try it.
She'll love you for it.
Yeah, like it's not hard. But no, it is because it does have a really nice hardiness to it. It's quite a dense fish, so it's not like that delicate stuff you get. It feels more like you're eating a bit of pork or something like that. Like it has that kind of thing. So I actually reckon you'll like it.
I mean, because obviously moving from England, it's really funny because one thing I find hilarious is that obviously the English national dish, depending on which part of England you're from, is fish and chips.
If you ask me, if you will,
there's nothing wrong with spotted dick as a pudding. Thank you.
I know. Nothing wrong with that. I won't lie though. I saw it the first time I was there. I reckon I'd been in England about a week. I bet you sat
there and giggled like the child that you are.
You have no idea. I was walking there because at the time, I'd heard about it, but I didn't actually know what it was. But then I saw it on a menu, and I'd been in England maybe 8 days, and I was like, fuck it. And I'm just like, can I get this and the spotted dick? And I'm looking, and the waiter's just like, and for you, ma'am? I'm like, come on, react, bro. It's like,
hey, no, because it's a normal. Anyway, but it's funny how, where we lived, obviously where me and Ellie lived before we moved out in the outskirts of London. If we go on a Friday chippy tea, which is a well-known thing in England.
Yeah, I used to have it a fair bit.
Friday night chippy tea night, especially up north.
With mushy peas.
No, I don't do mushy peas. I'm a chip shop curry sauce or gravy man myself.
Yeah, that's one thing. I found that so bizarre. Curry sauce with fish and chips. What's wrong with curry sauce on fish and chips? Best thing ever. Oh, don't get me wrong. I fucking loved it. But when I went in there with, who was it? It was Borough. So my boss at the time, Mark, when I first started there, was the manager. He was also the chef, and he was from Middlesbrough. And because of that, most people referred to him as Borough. That just was his nickname because there was. Before I started, there were 3 Marks there, so it was just easy to.
I'm surprised you could understand his accent.
Yeah, it's so weird. I've been lucky enough to travel the world, and accents for me don't seem to worry me. But I also grew up in a place where we were in the apartment building that I grew up, we were the only non-Asian family. And it was when, so what happened is because we grew up quite poor, we were the only non-Asian family. And because of that, in the apartment building, so everybody had an accent. And if you asked all of them, I was the only one that actually had an accent. So for me, I've been dealing with people with broken English and with weird accents that use different words. So for me,
that's actually probably the best training ever to go to East.
Oh.
It's to be surrounded by broken English
Sweet.
because of all our dialects and all our
That's the
regional
funniest thing,
accents.
though. Like, I can get lost down a street and then somehow end into a different town, and then I turn and go, "Bro, where's such and such?" And he speaks like completely different to the guy I would have spoken to you 3 minutes earlier, and I'm like, how did the accents change so much? Like, it's not like I'm going from France to like Finland. It's like,
It is actually kind of that because, right, we've got off on a tangent now, but screw it, why not? I mean, you've got basically up north tend to be Celtic, Saxon dominated.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. So we're talking sort of, the Vikings and all that jazz. So that's where we get all our accents from. And then you've got the Scottish and the Irish. They developed their own fluency. And again, so that's kind of Northern England. Southern England, they spoke the Queen's, because it's the most developed part for so long. So they had their own thing. But of course, then they had the influence of France and Spain and everything else, and Germany.
But it's just it's always weird to me because it's like literally like 10 minutes down the road, and they speak completely different.
It's I mean, even in Cumbria,
yeah.
Although pretty much we all speak Cumbrian dialect, and it's highlighted. And when I say dialect, I mean we speak slang.
Yeah.
All Cumbrians do is take a word, shorten it as minimal as possible, so it just sounds like a clip of words.
Yeah.
And people are like, what the hell is that? That's all we do.
Yeah. It's like, I'm pretty sure that was just a grunt. It's like, no, he said you look pretty today.
It is, but that's all we do. Or we make up a new word, and then, that means this now, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's generally accepted. But it's one of those sort of things that even in Cumbria, if you go from Carlisle, which is like, Carlisle is probably the main city of Cumbria, which is like, it's from the train line, it's up north, it's the north, and then before you get to Scotland, so that's like the main hub. But whereas if you go to like Bow-in-Furness, which is like the southern bit, it's a bit more a bit more farmer.
Yeah.
Stick that a bit in there, job done.
Because I remember my friend went that. He's like, I'm going to Furness. I was like, warm up there? No, mate. Because it was like up north and it was winter and it was freezing. Oh, so you went up that way. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, back to fish and chips. Right?
Okay.
So fish and chips in the UK, right? So where we lived, if we went to Friday Chippy Tea, it was, but fish and chips to me, El, and say the boy's a bit of age now and he's eating it, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about 40 quid. So we're talking in New Zealand dollars, we're talking about $80.
Yeah, I know.
For a meal of three, okay? Right. Whereas you get to New Zealand, if I go to the chippy now, I can get like 4 portions of fish, chips, and even sausages thrown in for like $20.
Jesus Christ. I don't remember fish and chips being that cheap in New Zealand, but now I want to go to New Zealand.
It's because obviously here, they do it by how many pieces do you want? It's like, oh, great. Well, and they always do these
16?
deals. Like, I want around the corner. It's like a $9.50 deal, and you get 2 portions of fish, a sausage, and a portion of chips.
The sausage I never understand. We have sausages here, and they just deep fry sausages, and I'm like, that just...
Yeah, but I'm English. We're used to deep fry sausages the chippy on a Friday night.
Yeah,
so
but again, like last week, like we were talking about our little sausage fest last time, the sausages are so much different. Where here they're like these cheap, nasty sausages that they throw in.
Yeah, but I tell you, I don't know why. I don't like the sausages otherwise. But when they're deep fried and in the chip oil, it tastes good. And I think it's just because it's chip oil.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It gives that a little bit of flavour. You're like, oh yeah, this is doable.
It tastes like a mixture of like the scallops, the fish, this, all thrown in together, and it tastes good.
Bit of sausage, job done. Great and fabulous, But that's the bit. It's hilarious how me and Nelly always make the joke of where we go get fish. When we have a fish and chip night, it's like, bloody hell, we would have to remortgage back in Hartford for this. It was damn good.
It is weird though. Like that was the weirdest thing that I found too.
The worst fish and chips we ever had, and we paid the most for, was in Barnet. When Ellie lived in Barnet and I moved in with her, she had fish and chips around the corner, and it's like an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
You barely got a piece of it, and it was like the tiniest piece of fish, and it's like, and I come from the north. If I was spending this much up north for a piece of fish and chips, you get a piece of fish, like a piece of fish, something that's going to last you for 2 days, although it doesn't last for 2 days, but you
Yeah.
could make it last for 2 days if you
It
want.
should probably last for 2 days. Like any dietitian will be like, eat about a quarter of that, then you eat half, and then you're like, I'll just eat the other half.
But what about the chips? Oh, you eat about a fifth of the chips.
Yeah.
It's still, that's what happens. But down in Barnet, man, once you got into London, you wanted fish and chips that wasn't at a pub. Because
Yeah,
obviously the
I found
pubs were kind of regulated to their price on a fish and chips.
yeah. Well, I got super lucky because where I was in Richmond I think it's considered Surrey, I guess, but it's kind of on the outskirts of London, Richmond.
Yeah, sorry.
It's Surrey, but everybody calls it London because I think it's just because it's posh and fancy. And people
Oh,
like,
to be fair, if it's generally inside the M25,
yeah,
it's
which it is.
London.
Yeah, which it is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Anywhere inside of the M25 is London.
Yeah.
But then you have the city of London, which is the original bit.
yeah. I know it was weird, but yeah, no. So we had that, and then we had the Richmond Green right down. So where the pub was, you'd walk down the laneway, and then you'd have the Richmond Green, and then on the corner there was a fish and chip shop. But it was like the only one in the area. And even when I moved around a little bit inside London, it was like if you want fish and chips, you just go to a pub. But yeah, that was great. But yeah, curry sauce, Burrow. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Burrow ordered that, and I was like, "What the fuck would you want curry sauce with your fish and chips?" And he's like, "Bro, just get it." He goes, "Trust me." He goes, "I'll give you the £2 for it." I was like, "Bro, it's £2. I'll get it." And I was just like, "This seems stupid." I watched him just kind of pour it all over everything, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like, no. And I'm like, that just looks thing.
I'll tell you now, I'm salivating at the thought of this right now. I'll tell you now.
So I popped the lid off the plastic thing, and I was just like, fuck it, I'll try it. I dipped the chip in, and I went, and as soon as it hit my tongue, I reckon I had already picked up the thing and poured it all over my chips.
Was it a taste sensation, Des?
Oh my god! I'm thinking oh maybe some we back when I grew up, it was salt, a little bit of like brown vinegar or vinegar, and it was like I was like, this is heaven. Maybe some ketchup, and then the curry sauce. Like I literally put the chip in, and I reckon as soon as the chip touched my tongue, my other hand had already picked up the curry sauce and was pouring it all over.
Yeah,
it is stupid. I don't get it. But it's magical. Like it really is magical.
It's for anyone who's wanting to look at it. It's not a typical curry sauce. It's a sultana curry powder sauce. It's really good though.
It's bizarre. I couldn't place it.
It's sweet, but it's because obviously the one thing that New Zealand chippies don't do is that I can't get malt vinegar on my chips here.
Oh really?
Which is God forbid, no, you can't get malt vinegar. Nowhere does malt vinegar.
I know some places here, like you get malt vinegar, and then some of them are just lazy and just go with white vinegar.
That's not the same thing. You can't have white vinegar on chips.
I won't lie though. The first time I had it here, I was like, "Oh, bro, do you have malt vinegar?" And they're like, "Oh, you got vinegar," and they put it on, and I'm like, "What was that?" And he's like, "That's white vinegar." I was like, "No, it needs to be malt vinegar." He's like, "Oh no, we've only got white."
You can't. I'm sorry. There's no comparison between malt vinegar and white vinegar.
Yeah,
it's two completely separate entities.
Yeah,
let's be honest. They're not even cousins. They're like they're strange, separate family lines.
Yeah,
and everything. That's no.
It was bizarre. It was bizarre, and you're kind of eating this thing, and I was like, why did I even ask for vinegar? And then who was it? One of the guys, Dale Bonnier, who I grew up with. He was obsessed with malt vinegar on his chips as well. Because the Hickory House where I used to live, near where I used to live, used to do malt vinegar. It was magical. So we drove. So me and him did these stupid things that we call. He'd call me and just randomly be like, "Bro, we're going here." So we're going Phillip Island was one of the ones we went to. Right, Phillip Island's about an hour and a half out of Melbourne. It's got like fairy penguins if you ever come. It's kind of like so if you've got Melbourne, you've got like the bay that's underneath it, and it kind of sits right down here. And then from there, if you could swim really well, you could swim to Tasmania. You could.
Okay,
but you might. But it's as far south as you get.
You'd be knackered by the time you get there,
and you'd probably freeze to death or get eaten by sharks. Either way, it'd be fun.
Or get sharks or. I'm assuming, water snakes or everything else that's deadly in the world.
I was going to say, there's poisonous, there's not poisonous, and then there's just everything in Australia. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, so it's further south. So it's about an hour and a half. It's got some really good fishing. And because a lot of the fishing boats come out through the bay there and fish around that area, it's got really good fishing, but it also has really good fish and chip shops. So I get a call from Dale Thursday. I'm at TAFE, and he's like, Derek, we're doing an op shop day. I was like, okay, cool. When? He's like, today. He goes, I'm picking you up right now. What we do is we go to the op shop, we buy enough clothes till Sunday, and we can only wear the clothes we can buy at the op shop, except we're allowed to have our own socks and our own underwear because it'd be weird.
Okay.
So what we did is we used to go down to one of the op shops, grab like some pants, some shirts, and that's all we'd wear all day. Then we would go to the Enkerbell Caravan Park. We would hire like a little cabin. Sometimes it'd be just Dale. Sometimes it'd be Dale and the Houlihan boys or whatever. But it used to be that. So I get this call and I'm like, bro, I don't know if I can make it. He goes, literally 20 minutes. And I'm like, my class finishes in 20 minutes and the next class is yoga. Remember I was telling you about yoga? Because we did that on the Thursday.
Yoga.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll cut it. And then Friday, I'm like, I don't need to go. It's fine. So we went to the op shop. We bought all this stuff. And we went to Thingo. So the first thing we obviously do is get fish and chips. I'm in these brown corduroys with like this kind of like cool kind of like Hawaiian kind of 60s shirt. And like these like pointy toe shoes. Dale's in what I'm guessing were women's pants. I don't know. They were kind of like these really big kind of black flared bell bottoms that made his butt look amazing. And this kind of like, almost like this yellowy kind of like mustardy kind of colour with a map of Australia on it. And these bright purple shoes. And I was just like, oh my God. And it was just funny. So we went into this thing and the guy's like, oh, do you want any vinegar? And he's like, oh, do you have malt vinegar? He's like, no, we've got white vinegar. He's like, no. And then the only thing he did was he brings out and he's like, I broke the rules. And he puts malt vinegar on the chips and I'm like, yes. And yeah, but he used to carry it in his car all the time. So if he had ever had chips, whether he went to McDonald's, whether he went to KFC, whether he went to like a burger place, malt vinegar.
Honestly, that last camping trip, we took some. We took malt vinegar with us because it's far easier. In fact, funnily enough, at the import shop, called Why Not, which I go to, and they get English goods in as well as American goods and everything else, and they ended up having some Saracen's vinegar at one point. So I bought like a bottle of it, and then he said, "Why have you bought this?" And I went, "Because now we can have the Saracen's bottle, and we could just convince ourselves that this big branded malt vinegar that is not Saracen's."
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a fancy brand. Man, fish. We've literally just spent 35 minutes talking about fish and chips. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's what I say.
No. So we will move on.
I'll let you lead us into actual discussions and topic.
But first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to change my beanie because this one's a bit warmer. Look at it. It's so dumb. It's
so dumb, but that is so good, Des.
I kind of love it. So I kind of got it because I wanted to see what it would look like, how it would go, and if it was actually any good quality. So I went to Vistaprint and I got it printed. So I am going to get one for you, but I just wanted to make sure the quality. But the quality is actually nice. Like
that looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, so
pretty good.
It's a very nicely done actually, and
that's not bad.
And weirdly, it's done in Christchurch. Wow, I need to cut my hair. My hair's getting long.
So, you mean to tell me this got made in Christchurch, just ship all the way to you in Melbourne?
Yeah, so I got it from Vistaprint. So Vistaprint, you can upload your labels and different things, and then it does it for you. I get like a lot of my business cards and stuff made there. So I ordered. So they said they had it, and I'm like, oh, okay. And it was like $16.50, and I'm like, that's not bad.
That's really good, especially considering how much I found, how much it was going to cost for us.
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously, big size companies, the benefit.
Yeah, so obviously they obviously send the logo over and they did it. So there's like a little bit, I think on the S here, where the stitching they kind of stitched, and then it kind of didn't stitch a little bit. But I'm like, overall it looks great, and I'm so happy with it. So I will be getting you one, and I'll give it to you when I see you next. But yeah, I kind of love it.
Do that as a little gift to get. Originally I was thinking we'd have this beautiful montage shot at the airport of us running into each other's arms. And
we still can, and we can do it in matching hats.
We just can't. No, we can't nowadays because we're all completely different.
Yeah, that's true. Damn it!
Thank you, Jetstar, by the way. Thank you, Jetstar, for deciding to, just to separate two really good friends who haven't seen each other in so long.
Well, that was the weirdest thing, yeah, because we are, as we've spoken about a few times, we're going to Tasmania. Jetstar emailed me to let me know that my flight had been cancelled, which is weird because I booked it back in April, May, and then it kind of isn't until October, but for some reason they've decided, oh no, your flight's not going ahead, and I'm like, okay, and
and I also got the same email, and no, I didn't think anything of it because it's like, well, I'm still going. There's still 3 flights. It's the same, we're going on the same day still. It's just
thank the
at a
gods.
different time. So he's like, yeah, that's fine. No worries. Don't care. And it wasn't until Dez decided to message me saying, oh no, my flight's changed and all that. And I thought, oh, actually, that's a good point. I forgot that Dez was originally on the same flight as me.
Yeah, I know. So now we're on different flights altogether. Like the good thing is though, is I do get to spend about another probably 5 or 6 hours there on the Thursday, because originally the flight I had on the Thursday was hella early, and I was regretting booking it that early to fly back.
The other benefit now is that I think you're landing. What is it? You're landing at 2 now or 3?
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless of the fact is, I get in when I land in. It allows me about half an hour to go get the car that we've hired.
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
Around like loons, so just waiting for stuff to happen.
Yeah, but it's just I was just like, damn it, and then I called Jetstar and I was like, bro, what happened? Why can't we get the 1040s or anything closer? Because part of me was hoping to get on your flight, and they're just like, oh yeah, there's one flight earlier. I was like, oh cool, what time's that? And it's like 6:30. Yeah, no.
Now I don't fancy being there 8 hours before.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping for.
I was like, oh great! So you're going to be there about 5-6 hours before any of us are there.
Yeah, and I'm guaranteed the Airbnb guy's not going to be happy.
But to be fair, I mean, the benefit of me actually landing, I think, is because I think we landed in just before 2, and I was like, well, actually, it's not too bad because it means we can check in immediately to where we get to.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, sweet, I don't mind.
Airbnbs can sometimes be pretty good with that regarding, like, you just let them know.
Yeah, I know the majority of Airbnb. You land in at 12 o'clock, and he's like, "Oh, check in's at 2. Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah,
just get there when you get there. Don't worry about it."
Yeah,
but, I have gone to Airbnbs like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting in at 12 and check-in's at 3." No, you can't check in until 3.
Oh really?
Come on. I've landed in from wherever, or I've driven up from wherever. Can we just sit? No, you can't check in until this time.
Well, I get that sometimes. Sometimes in hotels you can. Like, I know that when I used to work in hotels, you'd often get phone calls and they'd be like, oh, what are the chances I can check in at this time? And often, sometimes if it wasn't a full house, you could go, yeah, but occasionally it can be annoying.
I remember, this will probably segue into our next segment for a little. But it was when I was attending my last GP in London, Magic the Gathering GP in London. So I was chairing up. It's obviously it's a 2-day thing, and we always used to book hotel rooms because it was easier.
Yeah, 100%.
Why drag all that crap in to then drag it all the way out when you could just have a hotel room?
Yeah, 100%.
So, I got to the hotel at 8 o'clock in the it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, and said, look, I just want to drop my bags off, but if my room's ready, I would appreciate if we could get in, because I didn't pay for early check-in. Yeah. And I said, oh no, so I had a look at the thing, said, oh no, your room's ready, and you might as well check in. And I was like, great. I saved myself 20 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
Fabulous. Happy days.
Especially when you're a young person, you're kind of like, you don't have that.
So he gives me the key. He says, oh, your room, was it 3 or 2, whatever it was. I can't remember. So, get in the elevator, go on, found 3 or 2, click in. They open the door. And when you open the door and you know something's not right?
Yeah.
I open the door and suddenly a smell hits me. And then I say, oh, the curtains are drawn. I'm just saying, this is why I'm at the entrance of the door. I'm not even stepping in the room. The bed's messed up, and there's a smell of like Lynx body spray, and BO has hit me, and I'm like, oh. Life causing disaster. And I was like, either they've given me the wrong room, or but someone's checked into this one already. So I thought, I'll just go back down.
Yeah, just check.
Just check, went down, and said, hi, and same guy, I was like, hi. Yeah, the room you just given me, someone's in it. He went, no, they can't be. And I went, I beg to differ. Yeah. There's somebody in it. It's that, or someone has slept in it and it's not been made up. And he's like, hang on. And so he went into the back and he was looking it up and he went, "Oh, we're terribly sorry. That shouldn't have happened." I said, I think someone's booked in last night because we can see that someone's paid for a room last night, but nothing's been entered into the system properly."
Oh god.
And I was like, "That's fine, no worries." I said, "Well, can I store my luggage while I wait for, and I'll come back at the lunch to get checked in?" Anyway, "Oh no, don't worry, I'll find you another room now." I went, "Oh great."
Yeah, no.
Fabulous.
If there's
And
spare rooms, often they'll have a.
so
We
yeah, so
always have that.
he stuck me in. I think it was like 2 floors down or something. He's like, "Oh, do you mind? This is just one floor above ground." I went, No. He's like, man, I'm going to spend the entire day walking around a convention center eating junk food, and all I want to do is get back, have a couple of beers, and go to bed. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to do.
I was like, is the bed comfy? Does the shower work?
Yeah. Does the bed comfy? Does the shower work? And can I just crack on?
Yeah.
Yes. Fabulous. That's all I need. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like, darling, I can only sleep above the 6th floor. Like,
all I was thinking of, right, it's actually easy for me to walk to.
Yeah.
After a few beers, anyway. So anyway, should we just segue into our first bit?
Dorks down under.
Yeah, so we were going to talk because Jordan has got back onto the YouTube. He's actually cheating on this channel. Well, he's cheating on this channel with his original channel.
I'm not cheating on anyone.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, I was going to say there's a box just sitting there, just going sub. No, yes, but no. So Jordan has actually been playing some Magic the Gathering because there's a new set coming out.
Hang on. Well, it's not because I've been playing Magic the Gathering. It's because the great fellows at Wizards of the Coast. Can we just say that?
Yes.
Just outright, great fellows at Wizards of the Coast decided to allow me to enter the early access event, which is very fabulous of them. All this gear, I'm not fancy enough to receive the good stuff.
Okay.
Because we live down in the butt crack of nowhere in the southern hemisphere. So this is me paying for this before anybody starts getting on at me. He's getting free stuff from Wizards, because that's not what happens.
I won't lie. I'm going to an event Wednesday, and chances are I might be getting some free stuff from Wizards. Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so this is me. It's my money. It's me, my money for 10 pre-release before anyone starts having a go. Anyway, so, before anyone starts having a go, right? So I was lucky enough to obviously attend or allowed to participate, shall I say, in the early access event for Dominaria United. The last one I did. All right. So for full disclosure, I was involved in every early access apart from 2 of them. And the 2 I wasn't involved in is when they decided to cancel them because Wizards marketing said, "Oh, we're not getting the return that we thought we would," which I don't know what return they expected for a start off.
Yeah, it's like here's a free event that we're giving it to our content
It's a free event that they're giving to streamers to promote the product. And it's like, what return did you expect? Yeah. Anyway, but by the by, so then they decided to shut it down. They then did a set, and then the next 2 sets they did early access, but you had to be in North America. You had to be a North American content creator and all this crap. And, and I won't say that those content creators who, had been with it since alpha, because I've been playing Magic Arena since alpha testing. I got in on the alpha testing and was helping out and providing bug reports and doing all that jazz. I wasn't feeling entitled, but I was like, well, hang on. How come they get to do it? Just because they're in North America isn't going to fly with me. And it luckily wasn't just myself. There was Europe guys and everyone else who were also going, well, this is bullshit.
Yeah, like I remember speaking to people that were like in the UK, even here. I've got a few friends that were content creators or are content creators, and they were saying the same thing. They're like, what's weird too though is we play this thingo, it gets us probably the most views, and then from that we can get several videos out of it where we can film ourselves making decks and different stuff and then talk about it and release those, and that they get like 3 or 4 weeks of solid content from it. And then all of a sudden it's gone.
Full disclosure for when I do my content. Generally the way I've always done my content is I do the day and I will record any decks that I've brewed up. Because one, I've got access to all the cards. Great.
Why not?
Why not? Why not go and it's like, It's like kid Christmas, so why not go a bit insane and brew up a deck that I've had an idea for, but I can't spend and forward all the wild cards for it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah, like,
which makes sense. But the problem is that, of course, that some people, I think, the problem is that some people started abusing it. I think this is why Wizards shut it down because, of course, the deal is right. We're going to give you access to this. The deal is you've got to stream doing it. Fine, fine. Even people who are not streamers are like, "Oh, I don't want to." Is that this is the deal? Fine. Most people accepted it, cracked
yeah,
on, did the job. Simple as. There's some bad apples in every bunch who were doing it, and I'm not naming names. I'm not that guy. I was aware of several channels who were getting access to it, and then going, "Great, I'm just going to build all this, film it offline, crack on, and therefore I've got, as they say, I've got my content for the next X amount of months because they've got decent size numbers, and they can just release it every 2 3 days or a
yeah.
week or blah blah blah, and that's
See,
it."
I understand if they did that, but also why not just stream it for a few hours as well?
Yeah, exactly.
So why not have the best of
That's
both
the
worlds?
thing. All Wizards say is that you've got to stream it.
Yeah,
They don't say how long. You don't have to stream the full thing.
yeah,
You could,
exactly.
I would, and I never have. I've always been to be fair, I'm the guy who's complaining, going that my system's crashed and burned. I'm the guy who ended up doing 3 streams in one day because my graphic card's conked out
Oh, God.
twice, and then I had to set up my laptop, re-download the client to the VIP server. And sitting up with the camera facing mount on the webcam, it was hilarious. It was the
Oh,
worst.
God.
That was, I think, about 3 early accesses ago. It was awful.
Because I remember there was one early access that Numbers was in it, and I was watching it, and he streamed for about 4 or 5 hours. Like, it was a pretty solid stream, and I was like, Jesus, that's a lot. Because he normally doesn't do those kind of numbers. So I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what should I do? And I was like, do you have unlimited money? He's like, yeah. I'm like, there's a big pack there that I want you to buy. He's like, yeah, but I'm going to lose it. So he's like, and I've got all the cards. I'm like, so just buy it. And he bought I think it was like 99 packs or something stupid or like thingo. And the last 20 minutes of his stream was just him opening packs. And it was fun as hell. And he goes, you know what's sad? He goes, when he did that stream, I believe what he said was people watch that stream more than most. And he honestly believes that most of them just went to that just to see the packs opening.
No, and it's not surprising. God forbid. A lot of the big guys I watch on YouTube who do Magic, they have this one. They'll always have this part of the stream, or they don't do it as a video because it's always part of the stream when the new set's released and they've bought 200 odd packs, and it's like great, fabulous, and it's like, well done, great. You can, if you're willing to throw your money at that, fine.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who I'll buy like the pre-order set. And I might buy the what is it? The 18,000 gem pack bundle thing. I might buy that occasionally, now and again. But otherwise, I just like stay. It's generally just the pre-order. So I'm mainly getting, say, 60 packs, maybe a bit more depending on how many you get with the pre-release code.
That's still insane. Like that was one thing that, like, even during COVID and stuff. Like, I know that we played a bit as well when you did a few tournaments and stuff. And we played a bit, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know why. But cardboard Magic, I love. Like, I've actually got cards sitting in front of me. I just can't. I don't know. Like, I can watch Arena and I enjoy watching Arena, but I just can't get into it. Like, and I think the hardest thing is sometimes too, though, is that especially if you're a beginner like me and you don't buy those kind of packs, you don't buy that. You literally have no cards to make decks with.
Well, it's like when you tried to get into Arena, obviously I was like, have you used any of the free codes yet? And you went, what free codes?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, where? And suddenly I spammed you.
Yeah.
So I think Messenger was like, ding, ding, ding. And you're like, okay, that's enough. Ding, 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 ding. That's like, keep going.
Well, that was the weirdest thing because you sent through, I think it was like 37 codes or something, and it was like free packs and stuff, and it's great because you get 3 packs of each. But what I found weird too though is like, okay, I'm gonna make a deck for this event that I got with Jordan, and then I'm like, I don't have that card, I can't use that. I don't have this card, I don't use that. And it's like, if it's like rares and commons, you're like, I don't mind using my cards. But like with the rares and mythics, like I don't have that many, and I'm like,
it's one of these things I find really. Because I've been playing Magic since Battle for Zendikar, which you were talking 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Roughly, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm in terms of Magic, I'm a noob.
So did you only play with Battle of Zendikar too?
I started a Battle for Zendikar.
Yeah.
I started that. I got in because literally, so I went down to the game store because I've been playing on the Magic 2015 app. Because I was lucky because I was into this is segueing to our next bit, but I'll bring it back. I was playing 40k and then I was getting annoyed that I couldn't play more than one game. And my friend said, "Look, try Magic, see what you think of it." And I was like, "All right." I said, and he said, "There's a free app." I went, "Sold."
Yeah. Did you say free to an Englishman?
Free. I'll rush over.
Yeah.
And I downloaded the app and I played it, and I was actually like, "Oh, this is quite good." I quite like the level of interaction, speed. Oh, well, I could do this and this set. I could do that and that. So there's a lot of whenever I've described Magic to people who don't play Magic, it's like poker and chess.
Yeah.
So it's like things can only happen at certain points, like with chess moves.
Yeah.
And poker, because you have to build a deck. You have a deck of cards, and the chances of you drawing X card involves how many copies you've put in to begin with,
And there's percentages and different things. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but that's weird because I started for Battle of Zendikar too. I went to PAX Australia and I had some time off, and I was just like, everybody that I spoke to played Magic, so I was like, I'll give it a go. And then I played like one of the beginners deck, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. But then I still didn't really get that into it. Where you seem to go like boom, and then become a content creator.
Well, I think there was a beautiful perfect storm at the time, because I was kind of in this realm of hobby boredom, and I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And I was still playing 40k and fantasy, and I was like, don't want to keep doing this. And I was lucky that my friend at the time, who was setting up his studio called Orcs Head Studios.
Yeah.
And he was doing this painting service and all this, and I was trying to do a channel, and I started off my channel, and for the people who go onto Orcs Head Magic and look at the really old videos, will find these painting tutorials, which are god-awful.
Oh, really? You got painting tutorials? Oh, that's horrible. I'm excited.
Do not look. Dude, honestly, I need to privatize them.
I'm just gonna see Jordan doing this.
Oh, no, you can't see my face. They're all point down and everything else. But they're made with terrible software.
Oh,
They're
God.
god-awful. They are, in comparison to where I am now from where I was night and day. But
thank the gods for that.
I ended up talking to the guy. I ended up talking to Paul, who's like I want to say the CEO, but he's like the head honcho of Orcs Head, and I was like, look, I want to do a YouTube channel. I'm going to do painting bits and bobs. I'm kind of getting into Magic the Gathering, and he was like, yeah, sure, yeah. I said, look, I want to call it maybe Orcs Head Magic. I started doing Magic the Gathering content, and it was far outdoing painting content. And I ended up talking to him one day, and I said, look, I'm going to change the channel name from Orcs Head Studios to Orcs Head Magic, because Magic's just, I'm sorry, it's doing better. And he said, look, Orcs Head Magic's your thing, you crack on, you do what you need. I said, look, I want to still tie it in slightly with the logo and stuff like that, hence the reason why we have the orc, and stuff like that. And, that was good fun, and that's how Orcs Head Magic became, more than anything. I think as I've discussed with Magic before, I think it was on episode 1.
Yeah.
that we talked about on Dorks Down Under, where there is a thing with Magic the Gathering, or pretty much any trading card game, where you have a cracker pack addiction.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
I still got that. I think I still got that because I don't play it as much as you do. I get excited when I get packs.
It's there, guys. It's there, Dez. I swear. It just needs to be the right set, I think, to get you addicted, or it has to be a certain thing.
I think
for me, it's foil.
Really?
And I remember as a kid cracking Pokemon cards, and it didn't matter, going through and blah blah blah. It could have been a rare Charizard, but if it's not foil, I didn't care. I wanted foil. I wanted shiny things. That's what I wanted. And even now, although I bitch about it on my channel,
Yeah.
When I'm cracking over the box, it's like, and it's a foil, and it's a common. Because I am the worst pull rate for a full rail mythic, I swear. I have the terrible rate.
Yeah, mine are weird. Like I seem to there's been a few that you've commented on as well where I've kind of I'm like oh I wasn't I'm like oh, I don't want to open it. Then you're like film a video, so I chucked a video on, and I seem to open some crackers and yeah. And then there's other times where I send him a picture beforehand and just be like, is this good? Oh, so that's all I get back.
Like, dickhead.
Yeah, like that's
I'll tell you now, right? Okay, so obviously lately we've been given the world situation. I've been sick and everything else, and I've not been on the store probably for about 6 to 8 weeks now. So because just I got sick, then Eddie got sick, and Eddie got sick. So there's about 6 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks where there was just sickness in the house, and I'm not the guy who takes sickness outside of the house.
Yeah, very much.
And all that jazz. And it was funny because this was my first event. I went to pre-release last night. My first Magic event, paper Magic event. I was like, yes. Look
Smell the cards. You're like,
can't wait to get a cardboard. Look forward to it. No, so obviously Tom dishes out the pre-release kits. I'm cracking it open. So my first one is a Duff Red Sorcery that I don't want to use. I'm like, great. First pack, it's Painland. I'm like, great, fabulous, great start to the rare pool, fabulous.
I always get dual lands. Like I reckon I've bought pre-releases, and I reckon in the last 6 or 7 pre-releases, my pre-release card has been a dual land, and I'm like,
yeah, I've got no problem with pulling lands, especially with a box opening. That's no problem. But the fact is that I'm in pre-release and I'm wanting to try and win.
Yeah, exactly.
So my second rare is getting Painland, and then I'm hearing at the back of me a matey boy. He's like, oh, for God's sakes. He said, I've got 3 Khans. I went, what? And he went, yeah. And he shows them, and he got his promos the new Khan, and he's opened the fancy new art variant and the normal variant. And I went, Tom! And I shouted over to Tom. I went, Tom, come here. And he went, what? I said, what's this BS? I've opened 2 packs. 2 of them are both Painlands. Yet me, guys, I have 3 really cards.
3 Khans though. That's insane.
I was laughing. And Tom was laughing. I said, Tom, is this how you treat me? I come down here to spend good money in your store, and you give me a duck.
Oh man! So for anybody that is listening that isn't a Magic the Gathering fan, Khan is pretty much one of the Planeswalkers. It's probably
he's generally considered a good card. The last few cards have not been great, and this one's. I don't think it's good right now. I think the next set, if there's some good artifact synergy, golden. But it was just funny because I was having to go with Tom, in a joking manner. He was like, well, you want to complain? All right, can I just give you forewarning that yesterday in the pool one guy opened 5 Painlands as his rare in his pool.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, Tom, I take anything I said back. I got 4 more packs open. I refuse to. Just staring until I've done this.
Oh man, it is like I'm like you. Like I feel like I always get in pre-releases. I always get rubbish. But then, for example, like if Magic the Gathering sends us like a little box or sends us a few cards, I do all right.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I know. It's weird though because
I'm messing with you guys.
I know, but it's very weird to me because like we go to this event and they normally have 2 events over 2 days. One has like a whole heap of streamers and influencers and stuff like that. Then you have myself and a few other people that are media. But what's weird though is we are like general media, like gaming media and stuff like that. Some of them only do like video games. So it's always weird to have them. There's myself, Alice, who writes for The Age and several other places, and then 2 other guys that have played Magic before. So we're always in the top table, which always scares me when Derek's one of the top players that go there. That's always insane to me.
Especially when you message me, God, is this any good?
Yeah, is this any good? You're like, no, idiot. That's a common. I was like, oh, I thought it was rare. My bad. But like, it's bizarre. And then you've got
this is what I don't think I've got a good rare pull. Hate you, Des.
Yeah,
hate you so much.
I know, but it is weird. But so so I'm considered one of the top players. But there's so many different like obviously we're friends with the Magic Bean podcast, yourself. There's so many other like Magic the Gathering content creators, but they don't get invited to these events, and I don't get it. And I think it's because the agency that runs it, unfortunately, is used to gaming media. That's who they work with. They also work with influencers and streamers. So for them, the people they normally work with, this is it. And I think because of that, they often don't want to reach out, or they don't know, or they feel bad because if they do get these content creators in, they only get them in for like one thing every so often. But it's weird to me though.
It's funny. But I mean, obviously, don't give it. All right. First things first, I'll say is obviously I whinge about obviously Wizards of the Coast and the lack of love.
Yeah.
But they do send me love occasionally.
Ooh, baby,
they
baby.
do. They do. In fact, hang on. I've probably got it on hand. I mean, every year they release a holiday promo card.
I got one of them. You know how did I? Oh no, I sent it to Numbers. I thought I sent it to you too, but I got the holiday card and I've just lost it and I can't figure out where it was. But it was sitting on this desk for ages.
I have the last 3 holiday cards. So I've got the Decorated Night, the Last Minute Chopping, and Top Deck of the Halls, which. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm sitting pretty. If I ever want to sell these, that's a decent amount of chunk of change. I mean, there are limited supply of these cards around the world. If I ever want to sell them, I could. But it's like I get these from Wizards, and it's like,
where is it? Yeah, because I had one.
I don't want to sell them. These are like cool cards that Wizards send me. It's like these are my little babies.
Yeah, like it was. So my birthday's in December, and it was just. Yeah. I always forget that. But so
I'm Boxing Day, baby.
Oh, you're Boxing Day. Yeah, no, I'm 10 days. Okay. I'm 10 days before Christmas, so I'm 15th. But yeah, on the 15th, I went to the mailbox and there was a generic card there, and it had just a Christmas card in it, just a generic kind of like Kmart buying 10 Christmas cards. And when I opened it up, something almost fell out, so I grabbed it, and it was one of the MTG Christmas cards. I won't lie, I've almost cried. Because I've seen Numbers get it. I know you get it. I've seen like Food Time, Jake and Joel, and a whole heap of Magic that people get it. And it's so weird because I don't do heaps of Magic content, but getting it and seeing it there just made me feel special. It's something I've seen so many people get.
Fabulous cards, and it's funny because the guys down the store that I go to, they're aware that I'm a content creator, and it's like one time I think a couple of years back I mentioned I got the first one. They went, "You got this card?" I went, "Yeah." "How much you want?" I said, "No, I'm not selling it." They went, No. What's your price? Yeah. There is no price. I'm sorry. Wow. Like, no. Everything's got a price, John. I went, "Yeah, I know everything's got a price. This card does not have a price."
And if it does, it's paying off my entire house.
But I was also like, you know what? I'm just, so I've not mentioned it ever since then, and it's kind of gone away. The guys at the store realize I do content creation, and occasionally Wizards will bless me with an appearance, which is fine. Yeah. And so it's kind of been taken now in stride of, oh yeah, there's another access. Oh, Jordan, are you in it? Yeah, I'm in it. Oh, great. Oh, I'll try and tune in for kind of let me know when it's live and blah blah blah.
But it is weird, for example, like you getting on Numbers back in the day, Food Time, Jake and Joel, you guys make content for this. Where for me, it's more, I go to pre-releases, I try to do things. We had the podcast at one stage as well. But to get one of those...
Rather be drafting for all those.
Yes, which you won't find anywhere on the internet now. Because once you don't pay the Podbeam thing, they just literally just destroy everything. Like everything's gone.
Do I need to inform MP Numbers about the free service that we use that gets it?
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea actually, because he can probably all upload them. But yeah, to get one, it felt special, and it's weird because I've seen so many guys like yourself that have been amazing content creators that I've become friends with over the years, and to feel like that I've done enough to be included in that kind of thingo made me feel so special. So I got so excited, and I got well excited, and I opened it, and it was on my birthday, which was even weirder. And I run upstairs to my housemate, and I'm like, look what I got. And she's like, and she's like, "You've got heaps of those." I was like, "No, this is a special Christmas one." And she's like, "Yeah, and?" I'm like, and I think that's the hardest thing. Like, I love Cherish, and she will always bring me down and make sure that I don't get a big head. No. But sometimes.
Just me. Ellie does the same thing. Ellie's always amazed by how much cardboard can be worth. And I don't blame her, because sometimes I'm shocked by how much cardboard is worth.
Yeah, it is. Like the first pre-release I ever did as media we went to Double Jump Communications, little office in the city, and it was great. We sat down, we got a few packs, and every now and again they'd come around, they just give you a pack, but you'd play with your thingo. It was great. Had a ball. Got home, and I'm just like, I'll open some packs, and I got a Ivugan, like the fancy one. And I was like, Jesus. And I'm like, I wonder how much it is. And I put it up, and I got $330 for it. And I was like, wow. And then I reckon 6 weeks later, Ivugan got banned.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you see, it's part of the thing. Wizards giveth and wizards taketh.
Oh man, because somebody said to me, they're like, keep it because that card's fancy. It's going to be worth heaps. I was like, yeah, but I don't. But I'm like, I don't need it. And no offense, if somebody else could use it, and somebody else really wants it, it's going to mean more to them than that. And at the time, I wasn't really that into it. Like I got a lot more into it when I first started meeting you, and started doing creators series with numbers and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. But
I do miss Creator Series. Creator Series is good. I think MP was on for a winner of a thing. If he just dedicated just all his time doing every year Creator Series. Yeah. So no streaming, no nothing else. Just, we're going to do this X weeks. This is all we're doing.
I think the hardest thing was obviously you were in, I think, 2 of those, weren't you? In the actual creators.
I was in the first season.
Yeah.
The second season, he relegated me to being a judge for the vlog challenge.
Yes.
Because I was just too good. I was too good to be.
He's like, because I just ruled the vlogs, yo.
Yeah, because I was far too impressive to be on the show for 2 seasons in a row. And then he brought me for season 3.
Yeah, because the hardest thing was like working with him and stuff like that. Like we had like obviously yourself, and the first season went amazing. Like we still to this day, like I praise the guys in that first season. The second season was a bit hard because you kind of had these people where we had these 6 people or 6 teams. And then we had one that goes, I can't do it, and drop out. A couple that said yes at the start. So originally it was going to be 8, and then they dropped out last minute. And then though Numbers is really good at giving them what they needed to do and the time frames and stuff, some of them couldn't do it, or some of them decided, oh no, this isn't for me kind of thing. But it was so hard, and I think that's what happened. Then by season 3, we ended up bringing you back. I think we asked a few other people also to come back, mainly just because the first week we had it, and then all of a sudden all these people dropped out because they couldn't do it or they didn't have time. And then it was weird because I do think, though, that if you wanted to be a Magic the Gathering thing, this was a great stepping stone. Like, obviously, yourself came from that.
No, that's the thing. I think what worked out well, in my opinion, was as a small... I think what you do is you target the creator series to small channels.
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily try and say, oh, no, let's try and get Prof on it. Because Prof would have a good go at it.
Yeah.
Because he really would. But the fact is that Prof's a massive channel.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and the fact is, because I remember when Prof came to London GP for, I want to say 2017, but it wasn't that. But yeah, but he was coming and Pauper was just being introduced as part of Channel Fireball's GP. And I reached out to him going, shoot him a shot, saying, hi Prof, I'm content creator from England, here at Orcs Magic, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to be participating in 3 days there, and they're also getting me to be part of the crew and play games and stuff like that. But if you could spare 10 minutes for an interview, I would be eternally grateful, because I do daily vlogs, as you can see, and I sent him a link to the channel and blah, blah, blah. And literally, I didn't hear anything for about 4 or 5 days. I'm like, what am I doing? Why? Because you immediately start regretting life.
I shouldn't have done that. I sounded too and then you reread your email and you're like, was I fangirling too much? I think I was fangirling too much. I should have said this. Oh, it would have been better if I said that.
Then suddenly he got back to me, and I think it was like the Wednesday before the Friday event. And he was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I've just found this email. Yes. Which day do you want? I'll give you a full hour. And I'm like, excuse me, what?
Squeeze me? Bitch, what?
It's like, yeah, no, I'd love to work with you. I'm like, great. Fab. Yeah, sure. Yeah, like, well, here's my number. Here's this, and we'll text them. Should we say this date, this time, roughly right now? But we can work it out because I know Channel 5 will have to change things up on the days. Like, yeah, sounds great. And I'm like, oh my god, great! I'm gonna have Prof on the channel. Oh my god, I'm gonna have Prof on the channel. What do I do? And suddenly, so I ran out. Literally, I messaged Chris, who occasionally featured, Chris from Orkshead, and said, "Oh my god, we got Prof coming on for an interview on the vlog," and he went. Yeah. Yeah. And he went, seriously? And I went, yeah. He went, how the hell did you wangle that? And I said, I don't know, but listen, I need a cameraman because I can't interview him and film me at the same time. Could you do me? He said, yeah, no worries. Said, no worries, I'll sort you out.
Can you imagine you just like this? So I'm here with the professor, like...
I'm here with Prof and selfie. I was like, no, I need to do this in some form of formal aspect. Yeah. So I ended up going out, and I think it was like the night before the Friday. We were swinging by Tesco's, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get a bag of English goodies. So,
why not?
Iron Brew, gin and tonic in a can, and blah.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, because I remember that you gave him like a little care package.
It's like a care package. I'm not eating all day. This is the best thing.
Well, the dude that was on.
Gin and tonic here. Gin and tonic in a can. Belter. I was drinking all that. Whatever you want, Prof. Whatever you want. It's a
I was going to say, you want to drink on my channel, mate? I don't care.
I was just like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I was so happy. I was so happy beyond belief. And then afterwards, and occasionally, we've messaged on and off, and he still recognises me. He's just like, I remember he messaged something about being down about something, and I was like, oh, hey, Prof, I'm sorry to hear that, I think for it well. I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're having a bad time and all this. And oh, Jordan. He said, oh, nice to hear from you, brother. How's it going? I said, oh, just things are cracking. I said, I moved to New Zealand now. He went, oh my God, beautiful part of the world. He said, we just moved to Seattle and all this. Oh, it's great. The fact is that he knows who the hell I am more than anything.
But it's not even that he knows who you are. He actually cares about things, and he actually remembers things and takes things in.
Just little details. Obviously, he probably just quickly looks up and says, oh, yeah, no, he shows us a tweet that says I'm moving to New Zealand. It's fine. But, it's just...
But it's good, and like
very personable man. Love him.
Well, that's the thing, though. A lot of people that I know that have met him have said the exact same thing. Like, he's very genuine, and though he is big and stuff like that, talking to him or the way he interacts, you wouldn't think he was as big as he is.
He's very humble, and he's very much. MP said it the best. Was it when tide rises, all ships go up?
Yeah,
he's very much one of these people, and he talked about it with Wedge. The man of sauce and everything else, and all that jazz. He says, because him and Wedge were similar sized channel, they bounced off each other. They were very much, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. Let's work together, let's get there. And it's two different approaches, because Prof at the time was, I'm just going to product review. That's all I'm going to do. I don't care, and maybe the occasional deck tech thrown in here and that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But I am really going to stream and product review. That's my... Yeah, that's going to be my thing. Whereas Wedge was the worst card series. That is like hilarious.
Yeah, he does some great ones, and they're kind of like all over the shop.
Or there was him ranting about war or something, or ranting about where the new cards in the set and wizards are used. And it was two completely. That's the reason why I think it worked for them.
Yeah,
because you have Prof who was. I'm approaching it from, let's just even release these new sleeves. But they're crap because the shuffle feel, which is not a word.
No, we're just going to make this a word.
But it's now a thing. It's like, I buy sleeves and I'm like, oh no, the shuffle feel doesn't feel right. I don't like this. And he put a string of words together, and it's now a common thing for Magic players.
And the problem is, you're doing that, and you're like, "Oh, I don't like the shuffle field." Why did I say that? That just sounds stupid.
Yeah, but it works.
I know.
The fact is that he'll get deck boxes, and he's launching them and throwing them and ducking, and bouncing them and throwing them in on the ground, and he's like, "No, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll put this through in 24 hours." And it's still holding the head. It's like, and you see what he's doing to it. He's like, bloody hell.
Yeah, because one of the guys, when I was at ATGN, which is Australian Tabletop Gaming Network, we got given like a folder, and the dude put it in the oven. submerged it in them, or looked at his cards while he was in the shower and things like that, just to see how it would protect. And it was just stupid stuff. And I'm just like, it's kind of funny. And still to this day, one of the best things that came from the Creator series, and God, I feel so horrible that I don't remember who it was, but you had to do a review of a deck box, and they turned it into a song that was, it was like The Lonely Island, that comedy one where it was originally called Dick in a Box, but they had
I remember this.
Oh, so they did like it. So it was Dick in a Box, which was, I think it was Justin Timberlake and one of the Lonely Island guys, and they sung it Deck in a Box, and it was all about a deck. But they sung the song and they showed off the deck, and it was this bizarre review that kind of was like they sang Deck in the Box, and then kind of did this review at the same time in the lyrics, and it was absolutely brilliant. And still to this day, and I hate to say this because obviously you are a fellow creator in that series, but it was still one of the funniest things I ever did. And to be fair, I can't remember who it is now, and I really did like the guys, but it was the only good video they did the whole time. And even though I followed them for many years afterwards, it was still the only good video they'd ever done, and it was absolutely amazing.
I'm looking on the Creator's YouTube right now to try and
I don't know, because he does. I think everybody released it on their own YouTube, and then the Creative one came back. But it was funny. It was funny. But yeah, So here's a question. So before we finish this up, because we're pushing the thing. What advice?
Dez has got to deal with editing this week.
I've got to deal with editing, so I've got to keep it short. I've got to make sure that I keep him in check rather than me going out of check and then him having to try to do it for me. What do you think of this set, and what are things that you think we should look out for or watch?
Right. Okay. Hot take. Dominaria United. Green's gotten overpowered with Defiler of Vigor. It's insane. It's insane. No. I genuinely mean that. It is ridiculous. I think if I tweaked my deck just a tiny bit, I mean, obviously when I do early access, I like to show off as many new cards as possible, so I always gear my decks towards showing off a new card rather than tailoring it to be super competitive. But it was good. Mono green, sweet as.
That makes me so happy because I love green.
Okay. I'm going to try and say this without sounding like a ranty little bitch.
Ranty little bitch mode, activate.
No, I'll say this with what were you thinking, right? Okay, for starters, click down. 1 mana instant. Destroy target creature with power and toughness is 5 or less. Are you for real? That takes away pretty much every single 1, 2, and 3 drop in the formats. I mean, obviously, alright, don't get me wrong, right, there are 3 drops that are technically 5 or more, and it's fine, but they are unplayable wizards. Are you for real? I mean, it is ridiculous. Not only that, but you decide to give black Liliana of the Veil, which is ridiculous. It is the most powerful card in modern, in mono black. And yet they thought, let's put it into standard. Oh, no, let's not put it into double masters. Or any of these other sets they can stick it in. No, let's put it into standard. Because that black's not overpowered enough. It is ridiculous. It is insane. It should never have gotten anywhere in standard. And I know the reason why they put it in standard. The reason why they put it in standard is because they want it in Pioneer. They want to sell Pioneer. They're trying to push it. And we all know it. Wizards think they're being clever. And we know they're trying to think they're being clever. But guess what? They're not being clever.
I've just set off the beast.
I'm fine. There we go.
He's like, I'm going to drink this 6 beers and hopefully calm down a bit.
It's alright, I've nearly finished my second can, I'm nearly onto the third. Right, okay.
So yes. So I'm actually playing this set on Wednesday in cardboard. I've got a Wizards of the Coast event, so I'm going to hopefully crack Liliana because, like, to be fair, who wouldn't? He's like, I've already unfriended you on Facebook for saying that. But no, I'm excited for this.
Just trying not to be so mad about how my pool was last night. I ended up in Jeskai, and I'll tell you now, I had no bomb rares.
Oh, really?
I had rares, I had rares in. Were they any good? No.
Well, what was it? The last Wizards of the Coast event, I managed to beat the top table with what I like to call Leroy Jenkins, which was, what was it? It was this black card. I've got the set. I've still got the deck sitting in front of me. Yeah, that's it. Eldritch Pack. So I'll bring it up here just so people can see. Eldritch Pack is pretty much target player that draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of cards in their graveyard. So
Boulder, is that from?
The last one, the D&D one,
the Commander one.
Yeah, the D&D one.
Yeah, it's a Commander. Yeah, I was about to say because that would be. I'll tell you now, right? That would be insane in the current set because you have Shieldred in this new set as well. Again, guess which color it's in?
Black.
Guess what? You're right. And guess what happens if an opponent draws a card?
He discards a card? No.
No, they lose 2 life.
Oh, wow.
Guess what happens if you draw a card?
They lose 2 life?
You gain 2 life.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because this
this
Eldritch Pack, I had it in my first 7, and I was like, I'm going to hold on to this. And then Alice, who is an amazing player, I love Alice. I have all the time in the world for her. Amazing journalist, amazing person in general. But she always wins it. She always wins it from us 4. And I said, and the guy sitting across from me, I'm like, just go after her. He's like, why? I'm like, just do it. So, and I said to him, and I winked at him, I'm like, just block everything. So he blocked everything of hers. So she ended up losing about 6 or 7 cards. We were already like 2 hours into this game, 4 of us. And I'm like, I know for a fact she's probably got to have at least 10 to 12 cards in her thing already. So what happened was he blocked everything, so she got about another 5. Then my turn came, and I just swung with everything. And I swung all at Alice. And you could see her just be like, what? And like I hit it for like 36 or something, and she was like, okay, cool. So she blocked this, blocked that. And she ended up taking a fair bit of it, and I was like, okay, cool. And she had about 8 or 9 life left. I had 2. The guy sitting across from me had 1, so I threw 1 at him just to kill him, which is kind of a bit rude, but I did anyway.
As you do.
And then I flipped around this, and I played this card, and I just went, okay, now I'm just going to Leroy Jenkins. And I threw this card down, and she looked at it, and she's like, oh, I'm tapped out. I'm like, wait, what? And she goes, I have like 27 cards or something. So she's just like, okay, looks like I lose. And I'm like, Leroy Jenkins in the front of everybody. So we're in a bar called the Fortress here in Melbourne that does upstairs. It has like this cool gaming room where you can sit there and you can play games for several hours. And then underneath it kind of has like this dungeon, kind of like castle kind of cool setup around it. So there's people in there playing video games, there's people there drinking, there's people having dinner, and then there's one twat in a beanie standing up going, Leroy Jenkins! And I'm just like, and I feel like a twat. But yes, so I beat Alice, and now my life is complete. I can die a happy man now just because...
To be fair, I've only just found out in middle of Auckland. I mean, bear in mind, I've been here for 4 years, right? I've only just found out there is a board game / tabletop playing bar in the middle of the CBD.
Oh, really?
I've only just found out about, and I'm like, because I ended up speaking to a guy at my work plays Magic as well.
Yeah.
And he purely plays Commander. He doesn't play Standard. He doesn't play anything else. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I went down to Dungeons and Dice the other day." I went, "Where's Dungeons and Dice?" And thinking it's another shop, another local game store. And he said, "Oh, it's in the CBD." I went. I said, no, the only places I know in CBD is King of Cards and somewhere else. He went, oh, no, it's the pub. And I went, excuse me, what now? What do you mean? Whoa, what pub? And he told me, he said, oh, yeah, it's a pub where you can go play trading card games and board games and they do good food. And I was like, Jerry, you're only telling me about this now?
Yeah, why haven't you invited me, Jerry?
Yeah, he's like, well, where's this information prior? And he's just like, I thought you knew it. I went, oh, there's no such thing as thought. Yeah. Well, you don't say that sort of information.
Have you seen me there? No. Tell me about it.
yeah. So anyway, he's told me about it. I told my wife because obviously we've been to a couple of board game cafes. I mean, because we enjoy. I don't think we have to have that second copy for like this. We have to save it for the next one. But my Father's Day today, we got back from obviously a full afternoon of eating and drinking, and we played Settlers of Catan. So me, Eddie, and Ellie, and
I,
I'll
I,
tell you now.
I have some bad news, which is going to be very hard to say, but as a board game
What?
reviewer, and that I've been doing this, what, 7, 8 years, I've never played Catan.
Don't even come out. Do not even come out with the words out of your mouth that you're about to come out with.
I've never,
No, Des.
I've never,
Des, my 8-year-old son knows how to play it. You better not say the words that you're about to say that's coming out of your mouth.
it's not that I don't know how to play it. I actually know how to play it. I've just never actually played it.
How have you not played Settlers of Catan?
I don't know.
How?
Trust me, every time I tell somebody that, every time they're just
You're
like,
ancient. It was invented when you were a young boy, wasn't it? God forbid.
I know. But it's weird though, because like, yeah, as a reviewer, like, especially, it was weird because like, when you think about it, like for 4 or 5 years while I was literally before I was doing tech and I was just doing board games, I was reviewing on average 50 board games a year, which is literally one a week. And because of that, I literally only played the board games that I got to review, and I never actually played Catan. He's like, I don't even know what's going on.
Speechless. How have you never played? Even as a teenager, I played Settlers of Catan.
No.
I know it was nerdy back then, but they're a lot, But the fact that it's Settlers of Catan, it's a great game. How have you never played it?
I know it's a great game. I know the rules. I know how to play it. I've just never actually sat down to play it.
You know what? My wife was joking the other day when she said, "Oh, we need to pack this. Make sure this is in the suitcase when we come over."
Do it. I'll play. I'll buy one. And I'll bring it over.
I'm actually now considering that maybe we need to take the weight allowance into effect, and we'll bring Settlers of Catan with us.
I'll just buy one. I'm on Amazon right now. I'll buy one.
No, it's easy for us to bring it. We're bringing a packed bag anyway. We're bringing a checked bag anyhow. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I might. Yeah, that's the thing. I've got to bring some.
No, don't buy it because you need at least 3 players to play it. That's the only downside of Settlers is that you can't play it with 2.
I'm gonna get it here tomorrow, and hopefully in October I'll be ticking off something that probably should be on my bucket list according to Jordan, and then watch Ellie pants me playing Catan.
I was about to say, Ellie Pantsu is a very different.
Oh really? Yeah, no. Here it just means it means I'll beat the pants off you. That's what it means. But
Okay. I get where you went with it, but
I was going to say because
be taken an entirely different way.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, anyway, guys, I think we're going to finish it there because we have been going and rambling quite a while about Fish and Chips and the new Magic the Gathering set, which is always fun.
Next time, I'll actually get round to the other topic that we play.
So next
it's now becoming a one-topic format.
Yeah, I know. So next week, one of the topics we're going to talk about is 40k, because Jordan and I actually didn't realise is we met wearing Magic, and then we kind of have an unhealthy love affair for 40k, and I also just wanted to discuss something for us because I've been doing Arc 40k, which is this massive 40k tournament for about 10 years now, and it's the 25th anniversary. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because it is going to be huge. We do have a special guest painting judge.
I think realistically, I think it deserves its own episode. I think let's say the next episode. Right now is 40k. Unless the world decides to go and shits itself between...
Which could quite possibly happen with everything happening. But yeah, I just wanted to discuss, because there are people out there that I know that I've spoken to that also ask about running events and how they would do this. So I would like to go into that and chat a bit. So unfortunately, if you guys don't like me, I would skip next week's episode because it sounds like I'm going to be doing a lot of talking.
I mean, obviously in fair discussion, obviously I used to work for Games Workshop.
Oh, really?
Do you not know this about me?
I didn't know you worked for it. I remember you liked it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
How do you think I got most of my stuff?
Oh, I didn't
Staff
realize.
discount, buddy. Staff discount.
Oh, man.
I have a pile. I have a massive pile. I was discussing this with Ellie today because someone was calling me out on it last night at the store. I have a pile of my unpainted pile. The pile of shame, as we know about it, as we all know. Is a real thing, and I have things on there that most people probably haven't seen for 10 years because I got my hands on it because working at Games Workshop you have access to back. I'll tell you what I'll try and do. I'll try and get photos for next week.
Oh man, that'd be sick.
Of some goodies if I can find them. I'll have to see if I can they're hopefully if they're where I think they are, we're good.
He's like, we're good. If we think we are good, they could be in the UK. We
I'm
don't
in the
know.
middle of getting ready to move house, so things are kind of in boxes.
Oh god, yeah, I know that. I know that
Sort of
feeling.
thing. So there could be the potential I can't find it, but otherwise I'll take photos of my of what I have access to of my armies. Like I have some very nice old school armies. I'm not going to show them off. I'll wait till the next episode. Let's not
Yeah,
spoil it.
well, we won't
Yeah.
spoil it too much, but yes, if you do
Yeah.
if you are a fan of 40k, or if you do ever want to run your own event, whether that be Magic, whether it be this, a lot of these skills are transferable. So
Correct.
we will discuss that because I do have a background in events, which is kind of nice as well. But thank you so much for listening. I have been Dez. The lovely man next to me has been Jordan, and we will see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Much love.
Peace.